Good morning, baby.
Morning.
What are we doing? Where are we going?
JKNews. The most exciting day of my week.
Oh yeah?
It's the most stressful day of the week for me.
I can tell.
Because I have always had to wear many hats in this role of mine with JKNews. So I have to pre-produce, which means like look up articles, get guests, send out the call sheets, make sure everything's booked, and then on the day of the shoot, which I also have, like I have article help from Jess and Choi, and then now more recently you. And then during the filming days though is where now you're helping the most, because I've always had to be the showrunner, and being the showrunner when you're being ignored is not easy. It's a very, very difficult task, because everyone in the crew, like, they're all really high energy and they're just like in their own world lots of the time. So it's a really stressful position for me to be in, because you're
focused on the story that you're reporting.
So it's the fact that I'm focused on the story. I'm focused on trying to move the shoot along, but it's hard to move the shoot along when I'm so soft-spoken, or you know, like, everyone just has learned to tune me out. Like, I'm like that. It's kind of like for parents out there, you know how your baby just cries and cries and cries, and then you end up like learning to tune them out at some point when they're fine and they're just crying just to cry. That's kind of how I feel in this situation here. So because I was getting insanely overwhelmed with that pressure of needing to handle the articles, handle the guests, handle moving the shoot along, that's when I asked if Casey could be involved to help me run the show, because I can't wear so many hats in one day because I'm gonna lose my mind. It's been about how many weeks? Like 3 weeks?
3 weeks, yeah.
Like about 3, maybe 4 weeks now.
How am I doing?
That you've been helping, and you have helped me a lot relieve a lot of the stress that I've been having during filming days, because we were testing out like you being a director and like helping with the direction of an article, because these days it's getting harder and harder to find articles that are worth talking about for news, because we're a comedy channel. We can't talk about so much sad, depressing things, because that's mainly what the mainstream media likes to focus on. So it gets harder to find stories to even talk about. Because of that, we're like, well, let's see, like, we can work with these like crappier articles and maybe give a direction and like give the cast a sort of headspace to be in while we film these not so great articles. But then that turned out to be really hard too, because then, like, you know, you'll give the direction in the beginning of the shoot or like the filming of that article, but then people forget and then they go on tangents, and then like it's kind of like all this work for nothing kind of thing.
Well, it's a balance. So like on a film set, when you're an AD, which is like assistant director, which is the guy that's you know, trying to keep the show moving along.
You continue this. I have to go inside.
Oh yeah, you gotta prep.
You can stay here.
Okay.
I have to prep the articles and stuff, so you can fill them in for the rest of that, and I gotta go.
Okay. But yeah, so as an AD, you gotta keep the show moving along. You're the schedule guy. You're the fun stopper. You're the party pooper. If a good conversation's happening off camera, or like people are just having a good time off camera, but then you gotta get camera going and rolling.
So imagine doing that plus preparing for articles and being a cast member.
Definitely. What I've seen good ADs do, though, is that they're able to keep the show going and push it along without angering people. I've seen bad ADs too, and bad ADs seem like they just have a stick up their butt all the time. They're just like, all right, people, let's go. Cameras up, let's go. Hey, you, phones away. It really sucks the life out of the set. It sucks the life out of the room. For me, I'm trying to find a balance between, you know, staying on task, but keeping the fun. Last week was a great improvement from the week before, so I'm assuming today will be another great improvement from last week. So we'll see. Alright, it is lunchtime now, or actually it's past lunchtime because no one else is eating. So guys, I have a question for you guys. How am I doing as AD or director or whatever this position is?
You suck! I think I like it more with you here.
Really?
Yeah, frankly.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I do too. I really.
So that was the lie, and then now give them the honest.
Not the real truth now. No, honestly.
I like it too because I think the direction helps out. Because sometimes, like, I think being on JK News, at least for me, I'm balancing two things. One is being a comedian, but then the other is kind of being like a storyteller and I guess an actor in a scene. And then sometimes my comedian side turns on. I'm just doing all these one-off jokes that's not really adding to everything. But then having you there kind of helps me put everything back together, so I'm not having like just a fun fest in my brain that's not really adding to the overall article. So I really like it.
I just like listening to a man because I don't respect women. And that's a joke.
So, I also like that it feels like we're all working towards a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
instead of before, where it just
True.
felt like everyone was just sort of whatever.
True, because I've been a cast member too, and sometimes on these long, like when near the end of the day, I always feel like what am I, like what are we doing here? Like it's just, you start to get kind of stuck in your own whatever thoughts in your head, and you just don't know what you're really trying to say anymore.
Yeah, and even if we don't do it perfect to what you pitched, like I still feel like we worked towards something together as a group.
It's still more focused.
With the
'Cause
suggestions.
sometimes towards the end article, I can tell Joe's having his own and one, Steve's having his own and one, I'm having my own and one, and we're not playing one basketball game.
Right.
True.
Versus having that direction, I'm like, oh, okay, even though we're doing trick shots, we're having that one game we're trying to win.
True.
I like it.
True.
And I like it because it's you, and I hang with you often, and so it just feels familiar. If you were somebody else, I don't think I would like it as much.
I wouldn't respect her thoughts.
Right.
Especially if it's a female.
Is it a her?
Yep.
Yeah. I like how you have headphones on, Tiff. Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh, we're just talking about how it's very important to listen to the thoughts of women and
Yeah.
take
Their
them
voices.
serious.
So it must have been the opposite of that.
That's fine. No.
Right?
It's the weekend.
Oh, yes.
Our weekend.
Yes. Thursdays after JK News is bliss. Because it's like the most stressful, the thing that you're like worried about the most of the week. Throwing out the trash. And then once that's done, you're like, job well done, good job, time to enjoy yourself.
I love it when you get all like steezy with it. Like when you
Steezy?
get, like stylish with it. Like
Oh,
I don't know.
Thanks. You like my swag?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, swag. Yeah, there you go.
So now we get to enjoy our Thursday night. I mean, tomorrow we do have to come back and do a JK News shoot in the morning. But it's not JK News itself, so I don't have to stress about it.
True. And JK News is real work. I mean, I knew it was real work, but now that I'm part of the whole rotation of the scheduling and like
Now you see the nitty gritty.
it's a lot. It's good. It's grueling. It's just like it's this constant.
Yes.
Like you got to keep pushing forward, even though your brain's starting to check out from all these conversations.
Yeah,
And
because it's a whole day. I mean, for those of you that don't know, we film from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and we just have a 1-hour lunch break in between. So we pump out videos all day, and it's once a week, and it's just grueling, like you said.
yeah, it's like imagine trying to have the most exciting and insightful
High
and
energy.
funny conversation ever for like 12 hours straight or 10 hours straight or however many hours that
10, I
is.
think.
Yeah, 10 hours straight. So
Actually, no, less. I don't know. I can't math.
okay, see, we're so we're
brain
so
dead.
stupid now.
Before you weren't with me the whole day, so you didn't know everything I went through, like all the conversations that were had and all this stuff. And like sometimes I want to tell you certain things, but then I'll tell you like honestly, I'll tell you tomorrow. I can't even. Like,
Yeah, I felt very disconnected from you.
on Thursdays.
Yeah.
I know, cause I'm just like I can't do this. I do feel exhausted, but it's actually been really nice. Not having to do this alone anymore, and like now you get to see and be with me the whole day, and then like we could be in on the conversations that were had today because you're sitting there and listening in the whole time too. So I think it's, for me personally, I feel more connected to you in our relationship now that you've been
Really?
involved with news. Yeah,
Interesting.
you don't feel it?
I definitely do. So like, cause we vlog together, we raise Isaac together, we have a life together. And so I was like, oh, well, these Thursdays and Tuesdays, we can have our breaks from each other, it's good to spend some time apart as well. But now that I can feel this, I'm like comparing the two, I'm like, dude, I'd rather work with you every single day, be with you every single moment.
So sweet.
Yeah, 'cause
I was about to say like maybe not party.
Maybe not party?
Maybe not party because party gets intense and it's competitive.
Oh,
and, like,
so we'll like...
we would probably fight on Tuesdays if we had Tuesdays together.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not on party then.
That's what I was about to say. So I think this is a perfect blend, and yeah, like your involvement with Muse isn't like a competitive sense where we need to play a game, like a board game, because board games get intense and we take them, we you know, we get very competitive. We take them serious sometimes.
Do you bleep, Casey?
Huh?
Do you bleep?
I hate the bleep.
Sometimes.
I hate the bleeps because the bleeps are always louder than the audio and it's just like jarring where you're like, ow.
You just leave the bad words in?
No, I tell him to cut out the
Bad words.
The words.
You know what, can you just
he
take
doesn't like
her
that.
entire last sentence and just add random bleeps to it?
Instead of bleeps, you know what they do in
I'm
Japanese
glad
TV?
I'm not married to that guy.
Understandable.
He's such a troll. I would go crazy. It's good.
Hey, aren't you supposed to be studying?
Yeah.
It's your fault. You pushed the camera in my face. You're distracting me from
I was getting B-roll.
Casey got a camera guy, he got a light guy, he got a sound guy here, and he's like, hey, aren't you supposed to be doing your
I know, right? Thank
Aren't you glad you're married to that guy?
you. I know.
I know how to make Casey cut.
He's just gonna cut that.
He's got-
He's not using that. He's not using that anymore.